this is my brand new Vango Helium F10 ultralight one-man tent, and today guys, we are going to be reviewing it. I've camped in this tent from the heights of summer all the way down to like cold, gross, wintry weather. I've even taken it in places that it's probably never expected to go. I stealth camped with this tent under the M25, as well as along a McDonald's drive-through, guys, and it has not let me down once. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a comprehensive review of this item and just be talking about how much I'm impressed by it, really, guys. There's a few things I like, but guys, there's also a few things I don't like. So let's jump into this review and let's talk about it. So this is my Vango Helium F10 ultralight one-man tent. You can get this tent in a two-man configuration, but personally I wanted the lightest tent possible, so I went for the one-man option. Looking at the outside of this tent, I would say that it's got a really incognito, sleek design. It's said that this tent is designed in a hybrid funnel fashion, which is all about maximizing space while keeping the tent as light as possible. I think this tent fades into the landscape really easily. It looks great and camouflages into pretty much any background you might find yourself in. With one central pole and two minor supporting poles, this tent weighs in at a whopping 1.2 kilograms, and I think it has a trail weight of 1 kilogram. The poles themselves are designed by Yunnan, and they are the SD70 edition. These poles are supposed to be ultralight, guys, and even though they are really, really small and thin, they feel really, really strong and resilient to the touch. The pegs that come with this tent are also ultralight, and they give you 10 pegs per tent. It's a shame that they don't give you any kind of spares, but I completely understand why they're doing it, trying to cut down on costs for us. So just do yourself a favor and don't lose the pegs. Unfortunately, I have lost the pegs, but it's meant that I've bought a replacement bag on Amazon. It was £5, giving me a bunch more pegs, and it's also given me a luminous orange bag, which I personally prefer to keep my pegs in because I find it so easy to lose them. It's also handy to have spare pegs, guys, because it's good just to have the option to double peg if you need to. If you're out in a storm or in particularly windy weather, it's handy to have a few extra pegs with you. An amazing feature of this tent is that it comes with not your typical tent bag. It comes with what I guess is called a stuff bag. The tent bag itself comes loose all on one side, which means it is really easy to stuff the tent into the bag. You know, if you're in high winds, or if you need to just escape camp quickly, or if you need to set up camp really quickly, this is so handy. You don't have to put your hand all the way down into a bag and yank out all this stuff or shove it all in. It's just none of that. It's easy. You loosen it off and then it's all right there for you. Everything's out. You can see where it is immediately. Really love this bag. So the guy ropes on this tent are really good. They're really high quality. It's really easy to move them about, tighten them up, loosen them off without worrying that the guy rope is going to like go flying or loosen way too much, because these carefully crafted, crocodile designed style clips are never going to let go of the cord. But I'll be honest, guys, it does feel like this tent could use maybe an extra 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 more guide ropes. There's one on each side of the tent and there's one at each end, but those guide ropes that are at each end feel more like essential kind of support measures, not necessarily like additional supportive measures, which is I guess what you would find on most tents when they have, you know, the spare 2 or 3 extra guide rope that pull out the tent in different directions, that makes it feel, you know, really secure in like crazy weather. Unfortunately, this tent doesn't have that. It only has 2 guide ropes. There is in fact actually an internal guide rope, guys, which works really well as sort of a washing line or a drying line for your, you know, horrible shocks at the end of a hike. But also it's just great because you can kind of tighten and loosen the tent from the inside of the tent. You know, if you're in that crazy weather and you need to loosen off the ropes a little bit to give yourself a little bit less tension, than you can, but equally you can do the opposite. You can tighten up the tent without having to leave it. So yeah, really happy with this. That is a really handy little addition. Just a quick note, guys, I have left a link to the tent down in the description below. Do me a favor, guys, if you're considering buying this tent, do it through the link down below. I get a tiny little kickback from Amazon, but guys, it supports me and it supports this channel and the continued creation of awesome content for you guys. So yeah, do me a favor and buy it through the link below. Anyways, let's get back to the video. It's a pretty easy zip, really good zip to be fair, but annoyingly it only has the one fastening. It would be really good if there was another fastening here that could basically had the whole door attached together there. That would have been much better, but you know, it is what it is. As you may have seen in my recent M25 stealth camping video, I have had a little bit of trouble with this tent with where the inner and outer layer have touched, and unfortunately subsequently the tent has leaked. So guys, I can say that it is absolutely imperative that when you are pegging this tent in, you must have all the corners as wide and as stretched out as they can be, because otherwise those 2 layers are going to touch and they're going to leak. But guys, that's just like any other tent. I would just note that this tent is a little bit more finicky. There is no room for error. You must pull out each corner and make sure all the guy lines are as tight as possible. Otherwise, you're going to end up like a bit of a wet boy, just like me, along the M25. I would honestly say for a one-man tent, the Helium F10 ultralight tent, I can never get the name right. For this tent, guys, I would say that it is actually pretty roomy. The tent has a nice sized vestibule. Your bags can fit in there very easily alongside a pair of shoes. And if you really push your bag along, you can have your boots on the right, bag on the left, and have a little stove right at the porch and, you know, make a cup of tea in the morning. It is possible. It's tight, but it is possible. As for the inside of the tent, guys, it is just brilliant. It easily fits my full winter camping setup, which is like a foldable mat, a blow-up mat, a sleeping bag, a sleeping pillow, and other misc sort of items. It fits all that with room to spare, guys, so there is plenty of room inside this tent. The ground sheet is made out of 70D ripstop nylon 6 ground sheet material, and is a great balance between low weight and high durability. The design is a full bathtub style floor and goes as high as 10 centimeters. And I think this pretty red is in all versions of the tent, so you enjoy that because I definitely do. A fair bit of space. And thankfully, guys, this tent comes fully factory sealed. You don't have to worry about trying to do that at home or trying to do that through a different kind of manufacturer. This tent comes fully seam sealed. The inside of the tent also features 2 pockets that are perfect for a set of keys or a pair of glasses. You know, the kind of items that just like fall out and roll around the bottom of tents. Guys, I'm about 5'10", maybe 5'11" on a good day, and I can sit up straight in the middle of this tent and not worry about hitting my head on the roof, guys, so that is a huge plus. As you can see, I still have a fair bit of space. Enough space to put a bag at least. And as I alluded to earlier, guys, there is plenty of room on either side of me when I've got my full kit in there, so I'm able to, you know, have my cameras, have my books, have my lights and everything else around me and not worry too much about basically being drowned in, you know, equipment. I'd say it's really good value for money, guys. It's the step up for me from sort of a beginner tent to maybe a mid-range tent. This is a good sort of first step towards leveling up your camping experience and being ready for all kinds of weather that, you know, you could face when you're out there camping. This tent is really good for wild camping because it fits right into the landscape, guys. It weighs really nothing at all, so it's a delight to have in your backpack, and the tent will definitely keep you dry in wet weather, guys. But I'll be honest, I don't know if it's the tent you'd want to bring with you if you were heading out into like 100 miles per hour crazy storms. I think those lack of additional guy lines mean that, I don't know, they would make me doubt, you know, if it would be perfect in a crazy storm, because you're only relying on 2 guy lines and the other 2 at the sort of each end. But like I said, those feel like essential peg placements, not necessarily like supportive. So yeah, I would say this tent is good for probably 4 seasons, but I'd just be worried if I were to take it out in a major storm or got caught in a major storm. I would definitely like double peg, and if I had any of those ground anchors, then I would use those too. So as for stealth camping, guys, this tent is perfect for it, guys. It is like a dark color, it fits right into a landscape. It does not take up much room on the ground, and I guess because it needs less guy ropes, it's actually like easier to pitch up like in a woodland, behind a bus, or whatever you're doing. Yeah, this tent is really ideal for those kind of situations because it's just quick to set up, it's quick to put down, and it's really low to the ground, so it's quite incognito. I'm really impressed with it, and I'm going to continue to use it on my stealth camps undoubtedly. Obviously, if you want to go and see that tent in use for a stealth camp, go and check out those stealth camping videos after this. Would I recommend this tent? Yes, I would. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 stars though, purely because the lack of extra guy ropes have meant that I would not feel 100% confident going out into crazy stormy weather. So yeah, it's a 4 out of 5 right now. Even if they had 2 extra guy ropes, guys, I'd feel a whole lot more confident, you know, in this tent. But for the other 3 seasons in the year, guys, yes, I think this tent is literally perfect. Summer, spring, and autumn, guys, this tent is your perfect go-to. And probably the majority of winter, this tent is perfect too, just maybe not in those crazy storms. If you have used this tent as well, feel free to talk about your experience of it down in the description below. Hope you've enjoyed. I will see you in the next one very, very soon. I'm gonna go on a stealth camp very soon. I cannot wait to get back out there. And yeah, I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video very, very soon. Peace.